In that moment, Kevin understood the gravity of the situation. This wasn't a robbery, this was a full-blown hostage crisis. And he and Chris are about to find themselves entangled in the biggest bank robbery in UK history. With both of their families taken, the first phase of the plan is complete. In Northern Ireland, tiger kidnappings were nothing new. A tiger kidnapping involves two crimes in one. First, someone valuable, a person or an asset, is taken hostage. But instead of demanding money, the kidnappers force their victim to commit a second crime on their behalf. During the Troubles, tiger robberies were a common tactic used by both organized crime groups and paramilitaries. Even after peace returned to Northern Ireland, these crimes never fully disappeared. The targets could be anything: banks, businesses, or even private homes. In fact, it was so common that authorities had to come up with smarter ways to protect high-value assets, like banknotes. A few years before the robbery, Northern Bank introduced a security measure. The main vault, where all the cash resides, requires 2 keys to unlock to make sure that no one enters the vault alone. And the assigned key holders must change every week. And by coincidence, the key holders for the next morning were Chris Ward and Kevin McMullen. The night feels like it never ends. The 2 bank employees are waiting for instructions while somewhere out there in the cold, Chris and Kevin's families are being held hostage. One of the men approached and handed over 2 phones, one for Chris and one for Kevin. Each phone has a C and a K engraved on the back, C for Chris and K for Kevin. The phones only had one number stored in them. Later, when the time comes, that phone will change everything. The men ordered them to sit down on the couch and listen. But just before they started giving their plan, Chris out of nowhere asked for a can of beer. And surprisingly, the captors agreed to give him one. No one knows exactly why he made the request, maybe to show that he isn't hostile, that he's cooperating, maybe out of fear for his family. But there's one thing that's important to know. When it comes to talking, only one man does it. He's the one holding what Karen described as a vicious-looking knife. The others mostly communicate with each other by whistling, clicking their tongues, or jingling the change in their pockets. Most of the time, the house is silent. The only sound is the noise of the men cleaning, non-stop. The captors then begin laying out the exact instructions of the robbery, what to do, how to do it, and when, and always reminding them of what's at stake. We don't know exactly what was said in that living room, but according to trial records, the conversation took several hours.